One of my stream keys has failed. I have no idea which one it is, actually. Okay. So let's go check on our streams. Dashboard. Am I showing as live? Anywhere? Boop, 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 boop. Where's where I meant to go? My content. Nothing. Okay. So one of these streams has failed. Let's check it out on a non-logged in account and see if I can find out which one it is. So am I live on Twitch? Okay, I don't appear to be live on Twitch. Although it says a bit session, which is interesting. Let's move away from that, move back. Okay, I love it when everything just works. Okay, so let's try it from another player. Go to the YouTubes. Okay, I am showing as live on YouTube. Awesome. So it would appear to be Restream that's having issues. Although it is showing I'm live. Okay, we're live to Twitch apparently. Which must mean it was a Rumble that failed then. Because I don't appear to be showing. Okay, so Rumble's not working at the moment. That's fine. Right, let's just go over to Twitch from another machine, double check what's going there. Even though it looks like it. Yep, so I'm showing is live over there. That's fine. Although I'm getting a video download was cancelled, so something's not right. Something's not right with Twitch. What could it be? Oh, my average bitstream is too high. Okay. Perhaps that's what it is. What's controlling my average bit rate then? Is it Twitch? Also, why is it only reading Unity Hub? Interesting. Okay, 2 minutes not the code. Join episode 1, looks fine. Just chatting. There's a just cat. Okay, save that. Stream went offline, came back online. health is shown as excellent. Keyframe interval is set to 2. That's interesting. What I do find funny is that I'm showing as not streaming. In OBS it says start streaming, but streaming appears to have started. Okay, let's go into YouTube's. See if I can see via YouTube's. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think this is as good as it's going to get. Let's go back into Twitch. Can I reload my dashboard? I can. Okay, so it looks like this one's going straight to the YouTubes then. That's fine. That's fine. Dashboard. My channel. It sounds a lot better now that I've switched to headset, which is good. Okay, it's showing that I'm live. YouTube Studio. It's a bit strange. Right. Okay, definitely going to have to play about and learn with this more. But let's get back. Yeah, Twitch keeps dropping, so it's pointless. I'm going to give up on that, and I'm not streaming to there anyway. So I'm just going to stop streaming to Twitch because that wasn't working. Twitch is gone, Rumble is gone, so it's just the YouTubes, which is fine. Okay, so double check everyone's recording. Looks fine. Wow, that's taken me 7-8 minutes and I'm still not in. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two Idiots Learn to Code. This is a series of episodes where myself, Amax Games Davie, and my brother, Amax Games John, usually together but not tonight, will try to build games using AI and to see if we can learn Unity and how to create mobile games this week. We're specifically targeting mobile games because that's the biggest industry at the moment. And we're trying to use it to generate things like logos and things as well. So with that in mind, the game that I'm going to create at the moment is a quiz game, and I'm calling it Brain Drain. I came up with that idea, and what I did is I actually asked Gemini, because ChatGPT, unless you pay for it, I don't believe generates images, but I asked it to create a logo, which it did. I quite liked this logo, so I tried to get it to remove the background and it didn't do so. So that's a bit unfortunate, but the fact that we actually have the image generated is a bonus. So I have created a thumbnail for this, which won't probably be showing up at the moment because I need to learn how to be a better streamer and a better YouTuber. But with that in mind, we now have a, is that one? Yeah, we now have a Two Idiots Learn to Code, Can AI Replace Dev series, but this one's for Brain Drain. So we have Unity open, or rather Unity Hub open. So now we want to go back to ChatGPT and we're going to ask it a question. So we're going to ask it, can you help me write a mobile game in Unity? So we'll start with it very simple. The simpler you are with these, the more bite-sized pieces of information you go back, and the easier it is to try and understand. So it says, absolutely, I'd love to help you build a mobile game in Unity. To get started, I just need a bit more info for you. The game's concept, okay, the target platform, okay, still in graphics, okay. We'll talk about the features and expansions later on, and experience levels and stuff like that. Okay, once I have that info, I can help you structure a project. Okay, so it will be a 2D game. It will be a short answer quiz game. It will be for both Android and Apple, although we don't have an Apple license at the moment. We're wanting to get a couple of games ready for release so that we can make the most of Apple's licensing fee and walk our way through the licensing process with each of the different applications. From what I've been told by other people who've done this, is the application process for getting your app in all of the app stores, but specifically Apple's, can be rather tedious, and it's more like a process you learn to follow than anything else. So we'll give it that information and see what it comes back with. Just double checking our stream. Yeah, okay, it still appears to be working for us. Okay, so it's wanting us to create a new Unity 2D project. Okay, I'm having someone else check our live session on YouTube. So it's saying we need to create a new 2D project in Unity. Okay, so it's Unity Hub, new project, 2D, and name quiz game. No, okay, we'll change that to brain drain. So let's jump into, we can close this just now. You can close that. Okay, discard changes. So back to our Unity Hub, new project. And we're going to call it brain. So it's a new 2D project. It's interesting because of we've got 2D render platform, and we have universal 2D and 2D mobile. So before we continue, let me ask if I should use the 2D mobile template. Okay, so it says use a 2D mobile template. So I'll go for 2D mobile. It is for my Amax Games account. It's called Brain Drain. And we shall call it Brain Drain here. So I'll just create a new folder. And in fact, I don't even think I need to create a new folder. I think I just need to select that folder. I really need to learn about Unity version control because that could be a good thing for us going forward. So I'll create the project. Give it a moment. Let's call it brain drain / brain drain. Okay. Right, while that's opening, we'll go back to our chat GPT. We'll need to come back and catch this up anyway with creating our layout. But I will ask it, I'll tell it we are calling the game. Okay, so you notice that I've told it the game name now, excuse me, and it is now telling us to use a 2D mobile template. So it didn't initially tell us to use this template, but it is now telling us to use this template. Okay, so it wants us to create an assets folder with audio, sprites, and fonts. This actually could be a good thing for creating a template for our games, so try and actually get used to using the same folders for things. Since we currently have ideas for about 8 games, but I think we've started actually kind of fleshing out about 4 of them at the moment. Okay, so I've got brain drain. As you can see, it's still trying to connect the background. Saying we'll need something for the game title text. Do I use Text Mesh Pro for that? I might actually just scoop the brain drain from the logo and compress that down. We will need one for the question, we will need one for the answer. Submit button and feedback would be good. Okay, so this is definitely good for the basics. Notice it's changed the name to Brain Drain Quiz from Quiz Manager. So this is also where it can get itself tied in and try again. This is also where it can get itself tied in a knot, because in some cases when it's trying to go back, it will think of the first thing it wrote and not the latest thing. I've seen that before. For those of you who've seen any of our live Sharty Bird, which is one of the other games we're looking at, videos, you'll be able to see that. Okay, so we're just waiting for Unity to load. I'm really wondering, like, my PC isn't a slouch by any means. It's not cutting edge. Amax Games are trying to do this all on older hardware across the board. But I'd love to know if Unity is genuinely this slow on other people's machines, or if it's something that I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm running off an NVMe disk. I have various. I have 48 gig of RAM. It's not a slouch. So we shall see. And to be fair, it's an older machine, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be this slow for opening something. Well, there's not really much that I can do, but wait until that actually starts. So we shall do that just now. This is not the best format for streaming, I can tell you. Sitting waiting for something to open. At this point, while waiting, all I can really do is sit and pet our head of security sitting next to me. He's called Spike, and you will hear him every now and again add in his own sound effects. Amax Games are considering actually trying to record some of his meows and general um, general chirping in order for us to actually add them to games at a later date. Okay, so it's still creating this. It's also doing so on my other monitor, but I can't actually move it just now because it's still working. So, boop. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to check on the live feed again because my sound has changed in my ears, and I wonder if there's something wrong. I can close that. Over here, jump to the modern version and hit play. We should be able to hear this. Okay, that's a bit too far back. Okay, yeah, no, we're fine by the sounds of it. We're fine by the sounds of it. Apologies for that came through. Interesting. The line at the bottom of my screen, unauthorized device detected. I actually have an Android phone, an old Android phone connected to it. So I'm presuming debug mode isn't enabled. So it's not seeing it. Okay, in any case, we now have our scene. We have our inspected side. I like to have my scene on one side that I'm creating and my game view on the other. So let's go back to the instructions in ChatGPT. Okay, so open Unity, create a new project. We've done that part. And it wants us to create an asset folder. So we've got our assets. It has editor, scenes. So we want scripts. Okay, right click, create folder. For some reason it's just calling it new folder. Scripts. UI audio splice fonts. Okay. Right, so some of these are optional, but again, if we don't use them, they're not. It's a folder layout. It's not a major issue. Okay, so it's wanting us to create a UI layout. So our game title. So it's not really telling us much about this, to be fair. So I'm just going to select my main camera. I actually think that would probably be better with like a vertical resolution for this. Okay, we'll worry about that when we're doing the simulator later on. Okay. Actually, no, we can't worry about that. Let's jump back. Did it tell us earlier on? Okay, so again, it did not tell us what the canvas or anything should be. Okay. before I continue, I'll do, should I change the resolution so that the game stays in portrait? What did the game, no, the game uses portrait mode. Okay. So file build settings. Okay, we'll start with Android. Click switch platform if needed. Yep, we do. Let it load those. In the build settings, click clear settings on the bottom left. It's still loading. Man, your knee's so slow. Has anybody tried coding this on like a MacBook Pro or something? Because is this one of those things that's been designed for Apple first and PC second? I mean, DaVinci Resolve used to be absolutely fantastic on the desktop, but more and more recently, they seem to be focusing more on Mac. Or maybe that's just my perception. But I still love the application, don't get me wrong, but if you look at all of their tech demos, for example, they're always using Macs for it. Come on, come on. Jeez, it's still loading things. Okay. So go down to player settings in the bottom. And in the inspector, go to resolution presentation. No, I skipped a step. Okay. Did I? Resolution presentation. Oh, no, I didn't. There we go. Look for default orientation. And set it to portrait. Okay. Uncheck landscape left and landscape right if you only want portrait. Doesn't really, under other settings, doesn't really, this bit doesn't make sense. Well, rotation is off unless you want it dynamic. These are settings we can also tweak. We can tweak these at a later date if need be. Wow. So many settings here. I thought all rotation would be near the top, wouldn't you? And I mean, it's nice that it's telling me to go in here and do these things based on questions I gave it, but it's not exactly the most intuitive thing. This could be an Android thing, of course. I've not looked at the iOS one yet. Okay, I'm guessing that this is changed because ChatGPT is not very helpful for that. Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I guess that's not going to be a instant fix for the time being. Okay, so back here, we can click on our free aspect ratio. We can change it to 1920 by 1080 portrait. There we go. That's better. So I'll zoom in here. Okay. So I've just changed my display view at the moment to match that. ChatGPT didn't really tell me how to do that, but it's kind of obvious from the banner at the top. Okay, so let's actually get to hopefully writing something. Okay, so to make your UI scale nicely. Right, so it hasn't really told me how to create a UI yet, has it? Okay, so let's use the canvas with vertical layout group or manually position UI with anchor so it scales in all phones. Okay. So we want to create a canvas. No, why is it not giving me the option? Okay. Click. Okay. User interface and canvas. So this also irritates crap out of me. Look how big the canvas is compared to what we're actually working with. Okay. So we have our canvas. We need our game title. So yeah, let's just add that just now. So that'll be a sprite. Probably in the sprites folder, I guess. Okay, and I shall close that just now. I was installing an OBS plugin, so it's still open. I've got my downloads folder and find the transparent brain drain image. Awesome. I just closed something I wasn't intending on closing. I'll just drag that in here just now. So we kind of have our logo. Not sure we should have the full logo, maybe just the writing, but for the time being, this will sort of do. We open the browser that closed that I'm using to keep track of our stream. Okay, still seems to be working. So if we go back here, it's suggesting we use a vertical layout group, which I think I'll do for. Do we really want everything here vertical? Do we? So the title should be in the middle. It's kind of irrelevant which way it goes. Question and answer, possibly. And I don't think we need feedback for the time being. Okay, so let's go back to our game. Okay, so under our canvas, we need a user interface, and I'm going to select an image. I'm going to drag my sprite over into my image. Okay, it's not selected. Drag that in there. Okay, I'm going to rename it logo. Okay, and that's a tiny logo on the screen. So if I zoom in, I can click here, move, bring it up here. Why did that not move? Z. Because I think it moved the anchor point, didn't it? It did. Right. Funnily enough, it's not moving the anchor point now. I'm sure I'll get used to this at some point. Okay, so the logo still looks tiny there. But what I can do is I can click on resize here. I can hold shift, I guess. Yeah, stretch it out a bit. The bottom corner of the icon needs change. There's a little bit of damage on it. Go back to move. I think. Yeah, I think that actually works. Okay, we'll clean that up from the icon later on. So that's our icon in, and it's suggested that we add a vertical layout group. Okay, for the rest. Do you know what, for the time being, I'm not going to do the vertical layout group. That I can't remember how to do that. It's not really giving us information just now, but I want to get some of this in and kind of update it a little bit. Actually, no, I remember how to do it now. So we go into our canvas and we go to add component, and it's vertical layout group. Okay, that completely screwed with the brain drain thing, but hey ho. Nope. So upper center. There we go. Right. So I've just changed the child alignment to upper center. So everything should be under this upper center now. So if I then add, what did it want me to call it? Question text. So that is a TMP, which is Text Mesh Pro. Okay, I need to import the TMP essentials. I usually import the examples and extras as well, just in case. And I say usually, I've done one of these streams before, but the audio was absolutely terrible. This one seems to be a bit better, but I'm also keeping a local record, a local recording, so that I can potentially clean up the audio after the fact and have a cleaner version of this stream available. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can rename it to what it wants me to rename it. Okay, so question text. And I can select it. And I can say question. Okay. So that's just a marker for the time being. We'll need to play with these sizes. That's fine. Let's get the other ones added so far. So answer input field should be a Text Mesh Pro input field. Back to our canvas, right click, user interface, input field, Text Mesh Pro. And we need to give it its name. Oops. That didn't work. Oh, actually it did. Right, answer input failed. It also wants a button plus TMP text and a TMP text. Right, so submit button. So we want to rename this to submit button, and we'll want to change the text on it to submit. So in order to do that, I need to expand here, click on Text Mesh Pro, and do submit. Okay. And I don't need a feedback at the moment. Right. So there's plenty of room to play with these, size-wise. So the logo looks fine where it is. The question, let's go to 60. Ah, okay. So what's restricting that? What is restricting that? Font size 14. Right, it's okay. Let's try, I don't know, 30 maybe. Auto size. Let's try these. I actually made it small. Does it give me any more information either? It doesn't at the moment. Okay, we'll have it clean that up. So it wants this script created. So we'll go to our scripts folder, right click, create C# script, get the correct name. So this is also one of the things with using ChatGPT, is sometimes it gives you great information, other times it seems like it doesn't care, and you're not kind of getting what you're asking for, or at least you're not getting a idiot-proof guide to what you're asking for. I think that's trying to open. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we want to double click on the script to open it. Of course, it opens in another monitor. Give me a moment. Once it's loaded, I'll be able to move this across. Okay, so we want to select everything that's there and paste in the code that it gave us. Okay. I don't really need the graphics, so let's just take them out. That's more likely to cause problems than it is to solve them. But other than that, okay, so every 2 seconds it's showing a question. Don't need the title.text because that's not a requirement. Is it a hash? No, it's not a hash. Slash x, and then it's slash. Okay, so that's how you put a comment in. So it's a slash and then a star and then a star and a slash. Okay, show questions, submit button on click, and that's not check answer. Okay. Right, so it's not really giving us any questions. There's no way for it to read questions at this point. Or rather, there's no database of questions. Still, there it's there. But it says there's still Unicode in here. There is, it's not. Try that again. Okay. Give it a moment to load. So we've got a basic thing put together. This isn't, we're going to have to change this. I actually don't think that we'll end up using the vertical layer. I think we're going to have to change that, to be honest, because this looks like garbage here. But now that we've got that, let's go back to our friendly ChatGPT. Want to add a score tracker or a timer? Want to load questions for JSON or keep them in the inspector for now? It won't help design the logo, right? I need to check this design and logo thing with it at some point. But I want to add a score tracker. So let's do that. Okay, so a new text mesh pro, name it score text. Right, so that's fine. Right click, UI, yeah, text mesh pro. That's here. Call it score text. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll move it up to just below the logo. Okay, and we'll change its text to score. Right. And again, this is going to look basic to start with. We will be building it out, putting backdrop graphics in and stuff like that, just to make it stand out a little bit more, because this looks like what it is, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing actually managing to write some code. Right, so obviously that's just setting the score. We'll have to update our brain drain. Yeah. I wish it would lose these so they could be easier to copy and paste. Right, but we'll just copy this, go back into our editor, Control A, Control V. I'm just going to remove title text completely because it's kind of irrelevant. And I need to remove the UI code or Unicode or whatever it's called at this point. ChatGPT seems to do this a lot, and I think at the moment it's to stop people from just being copy and paste monkeys. Because I know for a fact that people use this on corporate environments, and they shouldn't, because some of the code that it writes is maybe not in such a Unity environment, but like PowerShell code and stuff like that it writes is just complete crud. Right, okay, so we've got scoring system set up. I will add a timer to it, but I'm not going to do that just now. So add a progress bar, number of questions. Okay, maybe at a later date. Add stars and medals based on score. Definitely something I want to look at to try and drive people back. And saving the high score locally is also a good idea. But do you know what was missing? And it's not pointed out yet. It's the questions. Okay, we need a list of questions. Can we do this with a local database? So I'll ask it if we can use a local database. Right, so I don't like the JSON idea. I've never heard of a scriptable object, so I'm completely out of my depth in that one. And I'm sure there's Unity programmers screaming at the screen at the moment, or when they're seeing this. No. If you want a better way, or can think of a better way, drop the infos below. Right. So if you outgrow the JSON, you're going to want to switch to SQLite. Pull questions from a server for multiple daily quizzes. Okay. So that's a good idea for doing that. But I think I'm going to switch to SQLite. So I'd rather future-proof and use SQLite. Okay, so I thought SQLite was actually built into Unity. Apparently not. So drag the following into your project. Okay. Ah, that doesn't help. There's no links to these for me to do so. Okay. So you can see how even as someone who's using ChatGPT, this is not it's clean cut. So I'm going to download this anyway. Okay, I may actually have to watch that video, although that looks like an old version of Unity. That's actually a fair point. I wonder if there's a new version of this here. When was it last updated? 6 years ago. I'm guessing there's probably a better way to do this now. So, shall we ask ChatGPT? Okay. Fuck off. Why didn't you give me that in the first place? See, and again, I understand the NuGet packaging, but that's only because I've worked with Visual Basic before, or rather .NET Studio, Visual Basic .NET, so I'm aware of the NuGet package. So as much as this seems like a simple project, it's obviously trying to do it via databases. It's completely made this far more complex. So if I click on that, is that in the asset store? No, it's in GitHub. 4 months ago. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. Wow. Okay, it's going to be a pain in the backside. And this is another example of why just asking ChatGPT doesn't necessarily make this a simpler process. So where's the download link for this? Download zip. So I've downloaded them. Works across the board. Import the right DLL. Simplest way. Using your Git package, or I can walk you through downloading. Okay, so I'm just going to say I downloaded the zip file. Where do I copy the files to enable this? Okay, plug in SQLite folder. Okay, keep this clean where we'll drop this, we'll drop the DLL files. Okay. Might as well just copy the relevant files if I can for both OSs, because again, I'm hoping that I can create something for Android and Mac, Android and iOS. I'm just looking inside the zip, but it doesn't. It's not obvious which files are which. Again, I'm sure if you're dealing with this day in, day out, this isn't actually much of an issue. So I'm finding projects here, but I'm not actually finding the DLLs. Here I am. So if I just, come on. Apparently closed it. Right. So this is the contents of the SQLite.NET Master. There's a Visual Studio project. There's the ability to make it. There's no DLLs here. So I'm guessing inside source, it's just CAS files. So that's actual source code, which to be fair is kind of what you'd expect in there. So looked in a NuGet folder because I was saying download via NuGet. And these are C# scripts as well. So I can't actually find the DLLs I'm supposed to extract from this. So these are projects. Okay. So let's go back to our chat GPT. Okay, let's try this again. Bunker off. So look in my downloads folder, open the SQLite master. There's a folder called SRC. Okay. Interestingly enough, there's only showing 2 files. So I'm just going to copy them across. Come on. Come on. Okay, won't let me copy them across. Fantastic. This is why live is always different from recorded, because you can edit this out. There's not much I can do about this except try again, especially when you're live. Okay. Why the heck is that opening up? So source. There's 3 files, so I'll copy the 3 files across. I'm not sure about the assembly one because it only mentions SQLite one, but that's the 3 files copied across. Give it a moment. Okay, go back to our code. Right. So what did we want back here? No. So import by DLLs. Looks like I've done this simple way. Okay, blah, blah. Create your new model class. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll say, where should I add the create model class code? Quiz question, CS. Okay. Okay, copy. Interesting. It removes all defaults. Okay, so now we've got that one. We need the quiz handler script. Okay, so I'll just go back down here. What shall I call the quiz database manager? Makes sense. In here, right click, create C# script. Quiz database manager. Let's open it up. Okay. Yes, create a team starter version of this script. Okay, so we have quiz question created separately. A database management script is here, I believe. Okay. Now what I want to do, just to try and speed this process up, is probably find a way that I can edit these locally rather than one at a time from within Unity, because that would be quite time consuming. So I do want it to do that. What was the database layout it gave us? Does it see question, answer, category, difficulty? So difficulty is a number. Okay. So let's see, can you create the .db as a template for me? See if it will be able to do that. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, apparently it done something. So assets, streaming assets, brain drain, template. Right, so I don't want it to be called template. I want it to use its original name, but what is the best way I can add to this database quickly? For example, import CSV of questions, answers, or copy paste into the database. Okay, so it looks like I need something called DB browser. Let's have a look for that. Of course, obviously, there's easier ways to do this, like it did suggest JSON. Previously. But wanting to do it with a database is obviously future-proofing it, so that's probably making this more difficult than it possibly should be. So as a standard installer for Windows, that'll do it. Just going through the installer. Yeah, I'm okay with a desktop icon. Yeah, that's fine. Install. Give it a moment, that case kicked in. Okay, finish. I'm getting thrown curveballs from the cheap seats. So it would seem Miss Sebral is telling me to try harder and hand up popcorn. Or rather, she's sitting eating popcorn, I guess is the suggestion from that. Okay, so now that we've got our database installed, we've got our DB browser. Sweet, I can open that. And open database. If I go to my downloads and do the brain drain template and open it. Then we have quiz questions. Okay, and inside quiz questions, we have an ID, answer, and stuff like that. Awesome. So I can now go to browse data, and there's our 5 questions. Sweet. Okay. So we have 5 questions for the time being. Let's go back to our database. Okay, and we want to go back to our chat GPT. This is probably something I'll look at a later date, the ability to update these, because hopefully we can have a method which will allow this to easily tie in together to other things, so that we can possibly have additional question packs for sale on top of the ones that we intend to do free. Okay, so I need to move it into assets and then streaming assets. Let's just do that. So if I go back to Unity, right click, create folder, since I don't see it there. Streaming assets, and inside here, to be fair, I'd probably just call it DB or database or something a bit more on the nose, shall we say. Right, let's just drag the database in there and we will rename it. Oh, we'll try renaming it again. Just take the template off the end. Okay. So back to our chat GPT. In fact, if we go back to our code, we should be able to tell the correct name for it. So it is, it's looking for braindrain.db, so that should be fine. Okay. So back to our chat GPT. Okay, now we have our questions database. How can I edit the database? No, how can I edit the code to select a random question? Okay. So again, it's not telling me where I should put this code. And this is back to what I was saying, is you can write code quickly with ChatGPT, but in reality, you're kind of struggling, because you're trying to look at what it's doing and mimic it correctly. But sometimes it's not very helpful. So I'm guessing that it's going to be under here. So okay, it looks like it would be in show question, check answers. So in here, right. So can we integrate this into brain drain quiz dot ts, as I think that's the best place for this. So let's go back to the new code that it's just given us. So Control A, Control V. Interesting that code's actually cleaner than it was before. Quiz Database Manager does not contain a random question. So yeah, it doesn't have that option. Okay. So did it tell me? So there was no get random question, but it did tell me add it. So there it's there. So I can move here. Oof, oh, whoa, I didn't like that at all. Okay, so Control Z, 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 Z. Let's try this. Okay, so that should be a get random question. Option. So I'll go back here. Yeah, that's disappeared. So I shall save this. I'll save that as well with a save all. Okay, so hopefully, and this is where it could all come crashing down. I should be able to hit play. Nothing should crash, and it should select a random question for me. Or it should do nothing. Yeah, it does not appear to be doing anything at all. Okay, so there's still no code around this. So we'll find the quiz manager. Oh, okay, it's quiz manager database. Yeah, okay, so UI text objects in the scene we have attached the script to a game object, e.g. quiz manager. So we don't have a quiz manager game object, so we need to right click, create empty, add quiz manager. We then need to go to scripts and we need to which one is it? I think it's this one that gets attached. Okay, yeah, and it's asking for a question text and an answer text. So question text is question text. Is that not letting me do that? Yeah, answer. Bugger. So let me select these. No, it doesn't. Okay. Answer input. It's not letting me add. Question text. It's not letting me add. Okay. Is that because Quiz Manager is outside of the canvas, perhaps? Let's move it into the canvas. And let's try that again. Doesn't appear to be. Okay. Let's just move this back here then. It can be moved in a bit. Okay. So again, I have created a quiz manager object and linked the brain drain split to it. Okay. I can't seem to link the game objects for question text and answer text. Oh, hold on a minute. So, okay, right now question text shouldn't be it, but maybe I was actually thinking that maybe I actually had to grab the text from quizmanager.txt. No. Um, okay, that's been done. See, it'd be nice if it told me which files I had to replace these in. So I'm guessing that these are in here somewhere. Yeah, okay. And again, this I'm not even a coder. Coding's not really my thing. At the moment, I'm still learning this, but I managed to work out where these were supposed to be. But it's not giving me direct information, what file to edit, where to do it, etc. Okay, so let's save the script again. Jump back in here. I've been streaming for just over an hour and a half, although about 7 minutes up setup time. So I think I'm going to be logging off soon. Okay, so text mesh pro, no, quiz text. That's looking better. And answer input. Ooh. Right, okay, so it's looking for TMP text, but that's obviously not the case. So, okay, so it'll be TMP input field or the player answer. Okay, save that. Go back in here. Now, if I grab the answer input, I could drop it in there. Awesome. Right. Does it select a question now when I run it? That'd be a good way to end the stream. Quiz database manager not found in this scene. Okay. So again, I'll create a game object and just try this. I'll create a quiz database manager one, and I will attach the quiz database manager script to it. If I can spell database correctly. Okay, let's try that again. And for those who are paying attention, the error was at the bottom of my screen, so that's how I knew where it was. Okay, object reference is not set to. And did you just crash? No, it didn't. Okay, so quiz database manager line 62. And a problem connecting to the database. Okay, so database manager line 62. Is when it has to return the table for quiz question. Right, I've not made much progress today, I have to admit. I'm not happy with this, but it is 1:45 in the morning, so I'm going to call it a night just now. For those of you who've been watching, thank you for your time. And I'll have to pick this up at a later date. So I'll just save this just now, and I wish you all goodbye.